let us agree to one fact, that the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, is a man under siege, politically speaking. The system of President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing everything in their powers, and they're working round the clock to stop the Deputy President from succeeding his boss in 2022. Whether they're going to succeed or not is something we still can't tell. But even the DP himself has alluded to the fact that the system is fighting him and is trying to stop him. So that's one fact we must agree to. The other fact which we must also agree to is the fact that as things stand today, the DP has upper hand when it comes to Jubilee politics. We know President Uhuru Kenyatta controls Jubilee machinery. But when it comes to the masses, when it comes to members of parliament, when it comes to senators, when it even comes to the number of governors, the fact is the DP has control. And even the strongholds of Jubilee Party, the DP still controls Rift Valley. And as things stand today, he still controls Central Kenya. And just like I keep on saying on this platform, that politics is dynamic and a lot of things can change within a day. And unless that happens, the DP still controls Jubilee Party. And for those who follow politics keenly in this country, this past week has been very interesting, politically speaking. And it has not been one of the best weeks for the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto. In fact, even before the COVID-19, the DP had started changing strategies. So today I want us to look at what the DP can do. What strategy can it do to thwart this onslaught engineered by President Uhuru himself and the system together with his allies? What strategies can he use? And I'm told already he's using some of these strategies. I want to talk about them. There are around 6 or 7 strategies. The first strategy, which I'm told he's going to use, is parliament. The DP is well aware that he has numbers in parliament. And that's why when they wanted to deal with the issue which was coming up of party officials in Jubilee Party, the DP had to ensure that they prepared a list of MPs who had signed that petition. And out of 205 Jubilee members of parliament and senate, they managed to get 146. So what message was the DP trying to send out? He was trying to send out a message to the president that I control parliament. And as a matter of fact, if you were keen, the DP even shared a video, that particular video, on his Twitter handle. So the DP is planning to use parliament to frustrate President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's going to ensure that government business are not going to run very smoothly. And we also know that according to Constitution of Jubilee Party, the president can call or can convene the National Delegates Conference at any time. Because that's the stronghold of DP when it comes to Jubilee politics. And for that to happen, they are going to use parliament. They are going to undermine the president until the president will be forced to convene the PG. And once the PG is convened, they are going to kickstart the process of convening the National Delegates Conference of Jubilee Party. So that's the first strategy which they are going to use. The second strategy which they have been using, and I think successfully, is to engineer rebellion against President Uhuru Kenyatta, especially in their strongholds. And that's why, and there's a video I'm going to do, specifically why Anne Waiguru is currently one of the biggest enemies of the allies of the deputy president. I'm going to do a video which will be very interesting. But the fact of the matter is that as things stand today, the DP has successfully engineered a rebellion against President Uhuru Kenyatta in their strongholds, especially Central Kenya. Remember, the people of Central Kenya voted for President Uhuru Kenyatta to the last man, just in 2017. In 2013 they did, then again in 2017. And in 2017, they did it twice. And during that time, they used to refer to President Uhuru Kenyatta as the anointed one, the one who was sent by God to lead. So what political mistake has President Uhuru Kenyatta committed to warrant the kind of rebellion he's facing in central Kenya? He has not committed any sin. Even the handshake he had with Raila Odinga cannot qualify to be a sin. I'm saying this because even before 2013, nobody would have thought that Kikuyus would support the deputy president, but they did. So entering a handshake with the Raila Odinga is not and can never be the reason why there's a rebellion. That rebellion against President Uhuru Kenyatta has been successfully sponsored by the DP, and it's working successfully against President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I know that the president, before this crisis of COVID came up, the president had actually started a strategy of countering that. Whether he was going to succeed is something we still can't tell. But the DP had engineered a rebellion, successful rebellion against President Uhuru Kenyatta in central Kenya. And even online he did that. Because anytime Uhuru would post a photo of the DP in his Facebook page, the photos of the DP would get high comments, the high number of comments, high numbers of like. Those were designed like that. Those are purely bots, because anytime the DP would just post, let's agree, the DP president has his social media handles. Uhuru, the status has. So there's no way that when status posts a picture of the DP, then it gets more traction than when the DP himself posts. Just yesterday, the DP posted something on Twitter, two tweets. But at the end of the day, he ended up deleting because Kenyans really overwhelmed him on his own wall. But it can't be that when that one is on someone else's wall, then the interactions are so high in his favor. So those are sponsored. Number three, the third thing which the DP has not done, and I'm told is going to start doing it, is start launching personal attacks on President Uhuru Kenyatta. As things stand today, the DP strategy has not worked. The DP has tried to shield President Uhuru Kenyatta from direct attacks. He has been attacking the president indirectly. Just like we know that David Murathe, Rafael Tuju, au ni watu wa president. Just like it's known fact that Junet Mohammed ni mtu wa Raila, mtu wa mkono wa Raila. It's known fact that Oscar Sudi, it's a known fact, Didmas Baraza, it's also a known fact that this personal assistant were DP, what's the name? I'm forgetting. This brown guy, the name is just disappearing. It's a guy I know so well. Those are known allies of the DP. Those are, you can refer to them as DP's people. So the DP still has been hiding from attacking the president directly. But either attacking Raila, if not attacking Raila, like now, he's been forced to attack David Murathe. He has been forced to attack the Jubilee chairman. He has also been forced to attack the Secretary General of Jubilee, Rafael Tuju, and terming them fraudsters and conmen, but leaving Uhuru Kenyatta. And is claiming that those are not president's men. It's known fact that those are president's men. So moving forward, the DP is going to start attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta directly. And if he will not do that, then he's going to lose the plot. Because all his problems, I know and I believe, you can't convince me otherwise, all the problems of the DP starts and ends at the doorstep of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Personally, I've been asking myself, what really happened between these two individuals? Because I've never seen a dynamic duo like these guys prior to 2022. But again, I know I've studied the politics of Uhuru Kenyatta. I've also studied the politics of the deputy president. I know there's something which the DP made which did not please President Uhuru Kenyatta. So they're going to use it. Number four, the fourth strategy, which they have also been using, is that they must start deconstructing the allies of the president. So if it's Francis Atwoli, let them reconstruct it. If it's Raila, let them reconstruct Raila. If it is Murathe, if it is Rafael Tuju, if it is Waiguru, and they've been doing this. It's actually related to the previous point, but now in that other case, it's the DP himself attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta. But now I'm talking of reconstructing the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Moses Kuria has been doing this so well. Moses Kuria has always maintained that, at least for him, he talks on behalf of the 70,000 people who voted for him in the Gatundu South. And he's been asking, who does Rafael Tuju speaks for? Who does Murathe speaks for? So that's how they'll succeed. Because if they don't attack these people, remember, Rafael Tuju has nothing to lose at all in this fight. In this fight, David Murathe has nothing to lose completely. And that's why he can even call the DP awache ujinga. Because kama the DP yako na shida, aende kwa the boss. So for them now, they must also retaliate by launching serious onslaught against the allies of the president. And that, in my view, can work. Number 5, in my view, which is going to be something I know they have been planning, but they're just waiting for time, is to bolt out of Jubilee Party. The DP must leave the Jubilee Party. That one he must do. Because if he will succeed, he has 2 options, by the way. I mean, it's not a must that he leave. The fact of the matter is, he can fight and win the war against Uhuru Kenyatta in Jubilee. But it's going to be a very tactless war. Because the moment Tuju will hold on to Jubilee, they're going to drag the DP. So the DP will not really, he will win that war if he shall succeed, but he will not get political capital out of that war. The only time he can get political capital out of Jubilee war is if he bolts out. Then we'll get sympathy. People will say, this guy alifanyia Uhuru kazi, then these guys have now betrayed him. So he must figure out how he's going to bolt out. I know that's a strategy, because if you followed the conversation this past week, one guy called Nixon Korir said clearly that they have 1,000 options. And I know one of the options they're exploring is bolting out of Jubilee Party. Because again, if you look at the history of this country, so many political parties have always come and go. So that's the other option. Number 6, which I think they must also do, is to reignite the hustler versus dynasty narrative. I'm saying that because I've studied Uhuru Kenyatta. In politics, you must hit at your opponents where it matters most. And where does it matter to Uhuru Kenyatta? The other time the DP was talking about dynasties, Uhuru Kenyatta was very angry. And Uhuru Kenyatta had to lecture the DP personally in the presence of Raila, international media, and the rest. And he told them, hata kama unasema sisi ni nini, hata sisi ni binadamu. So in politics, the moment you realize someone's weakness, then you hit that directly. So the DP must now begin again this narrative of hustlers versus dynasties. But there's a big challenge. How is he going to advance it when people like Susan Kehika, who are just using the name of the father, who just use the name of the father to win seats, benefited from that? How will they stand on a podium? There are so many people, like in Rift Valley, there are so many people who are dynasties. Yeah, not necessarily being the father of the president, but there are so many. And again, these dynasties are part of the system. So again, attacking them directly would mean that these guys will fear that maybe if this guy becomes the president, then their interest will not be secured. But for the time being, he must start that narrative. Because without using that narrative, then I want to ask you a question. Is there anything, agenda or something which you can, which the DP can run with? Okay, let's say Raila Odinga ran with the idea that, okay, he was the agent of change. Kama sio sasa hivi. He was seen as a reformist, someone who would reform this country. Is there something or anything which the DP can run with? Because if you're about the growth of economy, he's been in the system. He's only associated with the lies. If it's about to go on corruption, he's part of it. If it's what can the DP be used? I mean, what can DP use? What can DP run away with in terms of even ideology? Nothing. And because there's nothing, that's why he must cling to the only thing he can use, which is the hustler versus dynasty. The sad thing is that the DP is already also building a dynasty for his sons, and he's already a billionaire. And lastly, I think the DP must also be very strategic. He must be strategic and force President Uhuru Kenyatta to endorse him. Let's face it, the DP might have the masses in central Kenya. He might have the masses in Rift Valley. But the truth of the matter is, even if he will get 100% of those votes, there's nowhere he's going to go. He will still need the system to win. Uhuru Kenyatta was declared the president, not because he won, but because people like Mutahi Ngunyi created a narrative of tyranny of numbers. And by the time results were being declared, the IBC had been infiltrated and inflated figures, especially in the strongholds of Jubilee Party, and inflated figures in the strongholds of Raila Odinga. It's very simple. How many polling stations do we have in this country? So if, for example, you add 15 votes per polling station for President Uhuru Kenyatta in his stronghold, and Raila Odinga, you only reduce per polling station 20. So that's a huge number of votes. And this is what happened. And it has been happening. And it can only happen through the system. So the DP must force Uhuru to endorse him so that the system can fail. Okay, huyu ni mtu wa President Uhuru. Without that, his ambition is as dead. So those are some of the strategies which the DP is planning to use. So whether he's going to succeed or not, I still don't know. But one thing I can assure the DP and his supporters on this platform is that the DP, there's nothing the DP can do in this country which Raila Odinga has never done. If it's about having supporters, Raila Odinga has had supporters, fanatical supporters. In fact, I always tell people that there's always a difference between supporters and followers. Raila Odinga has always had followers. You know, supporters are people who can change, like people who supported Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017. By 2018, they already changed. But followers are people who believe in you, whether you are right or whether you are wrong. So Raila Odinga has had real, not imagine, real followers in this country. Raila Odinga has enjoyed the support of the entire country, apart from central Kenya. In 2008, even the Kalenjins supported him. Everywhere, apart from Rift Valley, apart from central Kenya. But he was not lucky. So there's nothing the DP can do which Raila has not done. So he must just be strategic. If he's not interested in 2022, he can just use that occasion to build himself. Then he will realize that maybe after that, because what I'm observing here, in 2022, it might not be an easy task for the DP. I don't know what you think, but that's my thought. But if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want to just take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. It's amazing, and guys, I really love it. Thank you, and may you have a good day.